back, everybody, to Throwing Bows. I am Jose. I am here with Maria.
Hey, everybody.
And I am here with John.
What's up, everybody?
And we are joined by a fighter and a coach, and we are so happy to have him on, Mr. DJ Jackson.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I think we need to put PG County legend on
right,
there.
PG County
PG
legend,
County legend as well.
Representing the DMV. You got to roll all that up in there.
Yeah. He should have been part of the documentary, Something in the Water.
Right, exactly. It's like, we started this about basketball, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's just start taking this into another part
with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I went to we went to the same middle school, and then like at the same time, but never really knew each other.
Like, was he a giant then?
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow you always knew.
Yeah. Same with Navarro Bowman from the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same with him. He was always a giant. Yeah.
It's the same with Derek Burgess.
Yeah.
When Derek Burgess showed up at school.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I went to school with Delonte West, so yeah, that's my claim to fame. There we go. PG County folks just getting together. So anyway, we are so happy to have DJ here. He is going to talk some MMA with us. And so, John, you have the mic. You have the floor. You have some questions here.
All right. I mean, let's jump right into it, DJ. I've heard you talk about it before, but talk about your purple belt Pan Am experience and how it shaped you as a fighter and a coach.
All right, so yeah, the purple belt Pan Ams. I never won the Pan American Championships. I've won the World Championships 8 times. I've never won the Pan American Championships. And the purple belt Pan Ams, I was in the finals of my division. I was winning. Like, I should have won the tournament. And then with 10 seconds left, I just put my hands down, got a little lazy, allowed the guy to get in on my leg. He took me down. And he was the champion, and I was second place, and I was literally sick. Like it was one of the most painful things, but it was good. It was like a good kind of pain because it made me understand like that's the price of losing, So we have to train that much harder and work that much harder because that one hurt. So I just picked up the training, so I made sure that never happened again.
What would Coach DJ say to, DJ as a fighter? Like, how would you correct that? Like, if you could go back and do that.
Oh, do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
No
secret sauce there.
Yeah, you do what you know you're supposed to do. It was a super bad mistake. Like in our classes, we have a rule where if anyone puts their hands down on the feet, you do push-ups. And sometimes we've done thousands a night. And that's why we put on Phil Collins in the Air Tonight because he loves that song for some reason. And he put that joint on repeat, and we would just be in push-up position doing push-ups for one person having their hands down, usually Nigel Easton. But
shout out Nigel.
Yeah. Shout out Mama Naja.
All right, Maria, do you have two that you want to get in?
Yeah, we can kind of just jump in because, a lot's being made right now just around the world of MMA where you're getting that like turnover, right, of guys kind of like reaching that point where they either need to retire or move on or do whatever. And, you've got some guys that are calling it quits early or transitioning to coaching a lot earlier than one would anticipate based on where they are in their career. How has the transition been for you moving away? I mean, I know you still do some competition, but you're not definitely as active as an MMA fighter anymore. You're doing a lot more coaching. How has that transition been for you?
It's been pretty good because when I started it to get a contract with ONE FC was the end goal. get a contract there, start fighting there as well. But like I fell in love with coaching in a way that I didn't really think that I would, like obsessively. So like and then seeing how the amazing things that Trevor Whitman's done, it's like, man, if I study enough, if I learn enough, like I can do those type of things. I can be that type of a coach.
Well, I mean, you're already working with Youssef, though. So, I mean, it looks like you're well on your way to being that type of coach.
Yeah, man, Sadiq is amazing, but he's just one of those people that you always knew he'd be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember we went to spar Headbangers Gym in DC. We went. Adrian Bronner was there, and the last day Sadiq was winning almost every round against Adrian. Like we're like seeing that, we're like, what the, like as an MMA fighter. Like, yeah, the guys came and they deleted the camera, they deleted the footage out of your phone.
No shit.
Oh yeah, they took the phone, they took our coach's phone, deleted the footage. But like seeing stuff like that. But the first time we went there, Adrian beat him up. But Sadiq knew it was because he was, gave him too much respect, and he felt disrespecting himself. He was like, "Nah, Nigerian people are stronger than this." I was like,
"Right."
Oh. I was like, "Damn!" Like you put the whole people on your back. Yeah, but that's the type of energy they fight with. That's what they do. Even in the fight that he lost, he still looked. He looked amazing. He just made two really bad mistakes. I mean, you can't really call them mistakes. Those shots were just perfect, but.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in hindsight, that guy he's been doing it.
So now with that, because like you can hear the energy and the passion in your voice as you're talking about this, which has been more fulfilling for you? Do you feel like, being like having a fighting career was more fulfilling, or do you really find more of that fulfillment and happiness in coaching?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm kind of happier like with helping someone else achieve their goals. It's like I was always kind of even in competition, like always supporting the team, but I fell in love with it in a way that because it's when they win, I win. Yeah, it's like it's just in a different game that I'm playing now. But I may continue fighting. I may go to Risen at the end of this year, but
nice.
But right now I want to focus on Stan because she's getting ready for that tournament. So after that, we'll go.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll say, Jose, jump in because I got questions. So
I'll
keep going and act like y'all ain't here. It's the Maria DJ show. So
yeah, I was gonna say, listen. You got your interviews in today. All right, man. Let John and I eat out the tray a little bit too. So DJ, my first question: how did your time training to fight help you train your fighters?
It was some of the. I mean, yeah, it was like me learning everything that I was going to be doing later. So it's not magic or secrets. It's just the system, the same system that Master Lloyd made. That made me a 8-time world champion. That made Jamil a world champion. That put Sadiq in the UFC, and it's going to help these fighters win here. So it's everything.
5 Ps.
12. Ours was 12, but I did like Clarissa Shields' 5 Ps. Ours was 12 Ps. Piss poor preparation promotes piss poor performance. Piss poor performance promotes pain. Had little shirts with that joint laid out in gold. Yeah. And we really always instilled that hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard.
Yep.
Because
very true.
That's
very true.
That's very true.
You see that when you first walk into the gym.
Yeah. It's one of the most important things in us that we know. We understand that hard work's the only way.
Agreed. And so I'll get to my second question, which is going to be, how does an 8-week long camp look like for your team? So if it isn't 8, then that's okay as well, DJ. But just in a camp setting, kind of just if you could lay it out for our listeners and our viewers, kind of just give us an idea of what a camp would look like.
So mostly drilling if her opponent does one thing very well, we'll drill the defense of that one thing a lot, and then we'll also drill what she does, and then the rest of the training is MMA in the morning, which is mostly jiu-jitsu right now, Muay Thai in the afternoon, or Muay Thai in the morning as well some days, Muay Thai in the afternoon, and then jiu-jitsu at night. So she gets it in. And then
Is she? I'm sorry, DJ. Is she training almost 2 to 3 times a day?
Oh, 3.
Whew.
Yeah,
Man, she is a.
she's a machine. And then for conditioning, we step the conditioning up. So instead of the long outside runs, we're doing incline sprints. So that's really it hurts at first, but it's super beneficial once you get used to doing it.
Oof.
Yeah, it gives you extra boost.
Oh man, okay, yeah, no, that's 3 times a day. Ooh man, all right, John,
3
you're
times
up.
too many for me. 3 times too many.
Yeah, the only time that slows down is when we fly out. She's gonna fly out soon, and so the last week of the camp would be her like in Singapore with our other MMA fighter Y2K, and there it'll just be them drilling it every morning. We'll FaceTime a lot of times, but then just them drilling and working those same techniques.
Repetition is the mother of retention.
Yeah,
That's how you get it in.
but for Stan, instead of more than drilling, it's just important for her to just be herself. Like she's such a talented fighter. She needs to fight up to her potential and not down to her opponent. Like 15 minutes of focus, and she'll get it done.
How do you, DJ? Then my question would be then is how do you keep a fighter that talented dialed in? Like, is it?
Man, she still has a lot of goals. She's that talented, but she was the double champion of striking in 1FC, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. Then she lost both her belts, and that hurt. And she lost to the girl she's about to fight again, but she hasn't, not really, but
right.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
That was crazy.
It doesn't matter what she thinks. The fight got stopped. She lost. So now we have to do what we have to do. So it's really motivating her.
Yeah, let me DJ, if I can jump in real quick. Let me ask, because Maria and I were actually sitting on the couch watching that fight, and so there had been some one had definitely been kind of promoting it, and they were letting you know this is one of our stars and Stamp, and we were watching, and it definitely was one of those. It was one of those things where we thought she got out, and then upon review, like you said, the ref said no, she didn't. She tapped or whatever. What was your initial one? Did you think she had gotten out of the round, or?
I just don't think Stamp would ever tap to a wrong side guillotine. So I know I had that was my initial reaction, but then right after the fight, she called me crying, said she didn't tap, she just reached. She was trying to reach the face, but if you can't reach the face with that far arm. You're gonna hit the elbow. So. And so she's trying to reach the face to push the face away, but it looks like a tap. So Olivier has to stop.
Right.
Like it's not like he did anything wrong, but it's just something that she needs to understand and learn from in the future. But the biggest thing is that we shouldn't be in the third round with this girl. Like she's putting her hands down in front of you, like like you're on your back trying to do go-go platas. Like we don't. This is not. We have to work. Yeah. So, but she understands.
She's trying to show you diversity, Coach. That's what it is.
She's just flexible.
Keep diversity in the gym.
She's as flexible as I am. She's like the strongest monster in the world. So
Maria, you're next. What you got?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of glad that we kind of went down this path because I have tons of questions about this Grand Prix match, which I'm very excited to see. Um, First and foremost, because of how the first one ended, which just seems so crazy. But I think Stamp's a beast. So, with that, how did your team feel about her drawing Alyona in the first round of the Grand Prix?
Oh, super happy. Like, because I mean, she just has to do exactly what she did in the first fight without hesitation, and we'll be fine. But it doesn't. As long as we stay focused and defend what Alyona is good at, stay off the cage. Yeah, she'll get it done. So it's a good match. I do like it. Did like the matchup, but like Alyona showed in the first fight, like she is dangerous, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
like I thought she was closer to some of the other submissions earlier in the fight, but like Stamp fights out everything really hard. We work on our defense a lot. So
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. Like going into this, what is the focus area coming up on this opponent that you've already faced?
yeah,
Kind of a weird situation. Like, what can we expect to see out of her in this rematch?
because her striking is always so good. Like she's the best, one of the best strikers in the world. Everything that I'm showing is just to either just stay on the feet or get up once you get taken down. Like
Mm-hmm.
no middle ground. You know, like get right up and but while we're on the feet, we got to make her pay. We have to attack.
Mm-hmm.
But she kicks super hard. She hits has really good hands. So you just have to get it once she believes and lets it go. Yeah, she's a killer.
All right, and then
But I
I'll
think
ask. Go ahead,
no,
finish
I
up.
was like sometimes she likes to perform a little too much.
Well, I guess
Listen,
my
it's still got to be entertaining.
No,
Right.
for her it does for sure. But I was like, you can be entertaining, but kill.
Win.
Yeah, 15 minutes. So all that matters.
All right, coach. So I have two questions for you. How much technique fixing is done in camp, or is the majority of the technique improved outside of camp? Um, like how much do you do in camp, or do you really try to work and drill new moves or fix things like in classes more so?
You don't really learn anything new in camp because 2 months of learning something isn't enough to do to a professional fighter. So it's just like focusing on like what you already know that you're best at that's going to work the best versus this person. Or like for some of these fighters, it's straight kind of dominant cruise style. Just get up, just
Mm-hmm.
move to the fence, and get up. Like that's if you get up, you don't have to worry about the rest of that, the rest of the jiu-jitsu. But a lot of I think Stamp especially, she really likes to show her jiu-jitsu in a fight. But as she shows, jiu-jitsu is really good. But when she gets to those positions, she has to finish. She got to get to 4 submissions in a fight. You got to finish the first one. So yeah, worked on that a lot as well. It's finishing from those positions.
Gotcha, coach. My last one will be how do you decide as a coach when to drop the intensity on drilling in camp and focus on strength and conditioning? Is it like project planned out before, or do you kind of wait until you get into it and say, all right, we can start reducing it fourth weekend, fifth weekend? Just kind of where do you guys start getting that idea from?
We never really dropped the drilling, but we'll drop the sparring down if she's like worn down from the running. Like if I see it done because she does the running, then Muay Thai, and like that is a lot some days. So some nights she'll come in and she'll just drill. So just to make sure she's still doing jiu-jitsu, but it's low intensity. It's just working the mind, just keep working the repetition.
Mm-hmm.
All
But
right.
yeah, drilling never gets dropped down. Sparring.
You're like, there's
Sparring.
always gonna be some drilling. I got
Yeah,
the,
it's key.
the mat's got to see some work. It's
you
got to
Yeah.
see some work.
you don't subscribe, DJ, to that Max Holloway theory. No,
Oh man,
no
I don't
contact.
know. He is very. he is very good as a fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters, but that's not the system that I was brought up in. That's not how my parents did it. It's not how we gonna do it. Because I feel like that's the first step to the Diego Sanchez theory. You start off in Max Holloway, and then you end up there.
And you end up as Diego.
You can't even let that start. You gotta have a firm, strong no to that at the beginning.
You end up like Diego if you go to a McDojo, but if you go to a real team, you look like Max Holloway. I see the selling point. I can see.
Which, before we get to any more questions of bow throwers, that will be our next one. Take a look out for it. We will be talking about Diego Sanchez and Joshua Fabia. That will be one of our very, very next videos. So
that video is going to be long as hell, y'all.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, that is going to be 2 hours worth of drama. All right, Maria, I'll tell you what. Let's swing it over to you, and we'll let John finish us up.
All right, so the last couple of questions that I had for you really are around kind of like what One Championship is doing. Before maybe 4 or 5 months ago, a lot of people here in the States had no idea what One Championship even was. And so obviously the TNT deal is having an impact already in definitely bringing in the casuals. But, you kind of being there, having fighters, fighting for the organization, what type of impact do you think that TNT deal here in the States is going to have on One Championship's presence here in the States?
That's a better question for you guys, because I haven't been over in the States. Everyone out here, they One Championships is super accessible to the people in Thailand. So like it's already at the Thailand, all the Asian countries is very accessible and free most of the time. So free on TNT, that's a question for you guys. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so far some folks have been a little taken aback because it's different, right? It's not used to what they're seeing. But I mean, it's advertised well. We watch it when it comes on. I'm starting to see the outlet that I write for, other outlets starting to cover One Championship a little bit more. So I think it's good. I didn't know if just you guys were feeling, because you're on the other side of the world right now. So didn't know if maybe you guys were feeling the impact of it as well.
No, just the better the company does, the better for the fighters, the more fights we get. Mm-hmm. Like hopefully, I'd love for them to do fights every week, but because of COVID, sometimes they can't, and it's hard to bring people in and out. So
now with that, and I think some of the attention as well. I mean, obviously, it's not just the deal with TNT. One has picked up in very recent memory some huge names from the UFC, in Eddie Alvarez and Mighty Mouse. Have you been surprised at all at how they've done in One Championship, compared to the legacies that they've left behind in other organizations?
Mighty Mouse, he's like the best fighter in the world, but that weight class is different in One FC. Like it's not traditional 125. It's like 135, but you don't cut weight. But there's still ways around that with hydration, and so you can still get that done. So he was big, man. He was real big. He's real big out there. So it's like he's fighting almost like DJ's fighting the weight class up. And even when he was in the UFC, he fought Dominic Cruz at 35. Like Dominic Cruz is not big at all. Dominic Cruz, he's like he had to go down to 125.
Right.
So, but Demetrius is still and it was good for One FC because it's kind of the best type of finish they could have had.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Alvarez, I have no idea why he did that.
Okay, that makes me feel better because I'm from PG County and I throw hands, but I ain't never been in nobody's gym or fought professionally. So that said, I'm watching this and I'm like, maybe I'm missing something, and I'm looking at Jose and I'm like, am I missing something? And he's looking at me like, I think we're watching the same thing.
normally that punch would hit the ear, but his opponent like was holding his ear. So,
Right.
the rule is if the punch doesn't land on any part of the ear, then it's the back of the head. And so because it would be back of the head technically, but
Right.
not really, but because you're still hitting the ear. So his opponent's holding his ear, and then the ref says it like 3 times, and he just keeps teeing off on the back of this dude's head.
Yeah, that one was crazy. And so the last thing that I want to ask you about specifically around one championship, for the years the UFC has basically made their bread and butter on the idea that all of the absolute best fighters in every single weight class is in their promotion.
Yeah.
For some weight classes that might actually be true, right? But do you feel like that's, especially after the Moraes Mighty Mouse fight, do you feel like that's still a fair sentiment for the UFC to kind of have, or do you think that there are a lot better fighters in organizations like One Championship that the UFC just isn't on their radar yet?
No, yeah, there's a ton of fighters coming up in ONE FC because of how good the striking is in some of these countries. Like, there's a ton of fighters coming up that are just trying to learn more jiu-jitsu and get better at jiu-jitsu, and then they'll be ready. And then, but also that they have striking that is like things that the UFC hasn't really seen. So, but as far as everyone else, I think it's the same. I mean, not the UFC is still the number one, but it's getting closer. It's not like how it was like a few years ago, where if they did a dual meet tournament, the UFC would walk right over them. Like they would have some good fights if they had this UFC versus ONE FC champion versus champion. But then some weight classes it would be a wash. Like Usman, would kill. Like, but
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, you never want to laugh, but absolutely.
Yeah, like and Francis versus Brandon Vera that would be that'd be a good fight. But that's and so some of those weight classes are different.
Let's put Francis and Rug together.
That's what I was already there. I was already going there, sir.
I've never seen. Well, I haven't seen him take a hit yet, but I don't know if he can take a hit too, man. He
complains about phantom punches to the neck.
Come on, man.
Here
He got
you go.
punched to the neck, sir.
Just saying. No, he didn't.
Punch in the neck, sir.
Listen. DJ can attest to this. He's been in that back room in Camp Springs in Master Paul's class, and how nasty it gets in there when the rolling gets going. That elbow, that's nothing. We keep rolling with that. That's basic class, right?
Well, he's carrying a lot of weight, and maybe he just couldn't
yeah.
have any type of obstruction of,
And not
he
only
needed,
that, sir,
he couldn't
also
breathe.
like a Senegalese boxer wrestler. Like, he does that special stuff, man. He doesn't. Nah, man. He's not used to all of that, man. Come on now, give Rube a chance. Come on now.
His cardio is amazing, though. For him to go that hard for that long is ridiculous.
Because he's a big boy. He's not
insane.
He's not a small heavyweight. Yeah. Like he's a big boy.
The whole time I was watching his last fight that he won, I was like, oh, he's gonna get tired. He's gonna gas out, and that this guy's gonna kill him, and he just never gassed out. He just never. But then not only did he not gas out, he didn't show any sign of gassing out ever. Like, he was completely fine. I was like, it was ridiculous, retarded.
Very true. Very true. All right, folks. So we got 2 more. No, go ahead, DJ.
No. His technique is so wow. If he's kind of like if he learned and honed down on his technique, but I don't know if you ever want to take that away. That's a type of crazy pressure.
It's a wild card. You never know where it's coming from. It's a wild card.
Yeah, that rush. Could you imagine though if instead of MMA somebody had introduced him to American football?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
ooh,
Be
That
running
is
people over.
he made Christian Okoye look like
I
light
was
work.
gonna say the
Right.
Nigerian Nightmare. All right, way back, throwback to 35 from the Chiefs. All right, all right, folks. So we're gonna let John wrap it up, and he's gonna do it with some softball questions here. So
Oh,
No,
man.
these are very important questions. Don't do that.
no.
Wait,
They're
am I
important.
defending you, John? No, these are questions that I actually want the answer to. I mean, fuck John always, but these are good questions. I can't take that from him.
Mambo
Damn.
sauce, baby.
Yeah.
All right, Muggles. Okay. All right. I mean, it was a softball question. I mean, here's one that I didn't have written down. Let's talk about how that slap heard around the world wouldn't have happened to some folks from the state of Maryland.
It's impossible for it to happen to anyone from Maryland. One, we're too close to Jersey. People forget that Jersey's like a crazy person state. Like Gordon's from Jersey. Like, of course he's going to do that if you press up on him. So if someone from Maryland presses up on him, they're going to be ready to fight. Because that's the only reason they pressed up on him. They didn't press up on him to not fight him, Like, but we all usually chill, we would never press up on him like that. But like, we also understand that you don't do that to someone from the state of New Jersey or Florida, for that matter. They expect.
Just ask
Shout out to
Leanne
Mike
Edwards
Perry.
about
exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, my man Mike Perry.
Mike Perry.
Don't touch me. Don't touch. Boop. No. I said don't touch me.
I love him so much.
Yeah, he has a great heart, man. He just misunderstood.
No, I feel like he's that one friend that everybody has. Everybody has that one friend who is a real one and is a savage and is loyal, but they talk sometimes and you just look at them like, when did the Ultimate Warrior show up?
Yeah, they should have some of the stuff should definitely be mad filtered. Like that's why you love him, because he has no filter. Like
None.
he just, but because he's not a racist dude, but he's just misunderstood. I don't know. Yeah.
Does he need some time at the Fairtex Training Center under you? Would time at Fairtex do him well?
He has the best deal ever now. His girlfriend coaches him, so he don't got to pay off that 30%, man. Like, yeah. Mike Perry older. I don't know if Mike Perry would even want to come and work on his skill like that.
Genius, John.
Yeah.
What did I tell you before? Genius.
TJ,
because with Mike Perry,
empowered Maria.
Oh,
her only coaching technique is punch him in the face. That's it.
No, that is not true. It is good advice. See, thank you. It is good advice.
No.
But I believe that I would be. See, so DJ, you gotta let me know when you decide to corner someone, so I can put in my application to be in that corner with you. Because man, I'm telling you, I got skills. I'm gonna tell you stop being a bitch. I'm gonna tell you punch him in the face. I'm gonna tell you man or woman up, depending
the fuck up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop acting like a pussy. Like, listen, I got it. I'm telling you, I will have so much good advice to give fighters. And every once in a while, I'll throw in some technique.
My grandfather's an ex boxer for the Army, and he's super old now, 80, like almost like in his 90s, and he came to see me in one of my amateur fights. And right before the fight, he came up to me. He was like, "Boy, I ain't drive all this way to see you get fucked up." And then just stone walked off. Stone walked off. Like, but it was just like, it was great understanding. Like, it was kind of far, my grandfather didn't travel well,
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm like, man,
See,
you can't
that's
get.
solid advice.
My one thing is you can't get beat up in front of your mother. Like, but also he made it like your grandfather too. You can't get beat up in front of them. You know, certain people.
See, I've been trying to tell these ding dongs for years that I would be an excellent corner person. So when Mike Perry showed up with his girl, I was like, yo, I was texting John like, you see this? This is me. This is my future.
You're way better than her for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, without even knowing if you have anything, but like anything else, if you train at it, of course you can do it. Like,
well, see, I figure I was like the wrestling mom for all my boys when they were in school.
Okay.
I at least understand, like I at least know well one of the bases. I'll figure the rest of that out. I mean, it's very simple. If your league layers out there and they keep kicking it, fucking check a kick. Doesn't take rocket science. Telling you, y'all, I got a future. I'm leaving y'all behind. Y'all gonna see.
That's so funny because James Vick was out here with me. Me and James Vick were walking down the street, and we ran up on this professional Muay Thai fighter, Dorian Price, who's our friend. He's actually from Baltimore, commentator at Max Muay Thai. And they have another fighter there with him, like a pro Muay Thai fighter. And James is telling them about how annoying the calf kick is to him. And the guy's like, what you mean, calf kick? And then it's just, he's like, no, he kick you in the calf, kick your calf. Why don't you just fucking block it? And James was getting mad. He's like, you can't just fucking block it. You can't just block it. He's like, just block it. The fuck, you just block it. But in Muay Thai, the calf kick isn't a thing because you're kicking shin the entire time.
Right.
So, yeah. But it was just so funny that James was getting mad because this dude, he was a professional Muay Thai fighter, but he's also right. But James was like, it's two different sports. Like, not sometimes, but not really.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes. Oh. Yeah. No, we have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Tyron Woodley too, to thank for Maria believing that she can be an MMA coach. That's the fight where Maria was literally like, I could do this. They're not going to touch each other.
Why is that?
Because they literally. They just didn't touch they didn't touch each other. So Maria was like, I could solve this right now.
I was like losing my mind.
She was like, if I was in either one of their corners, she's like, I would just go up to him and like, don't be a bitch and slap him. And like, get in there and fight. I was like, oh no.
Every time.
I mean, in all honesty, you did sound like you were somebody who was having like almost a Tourette's breakdown during that fight. The things you were yelling out.
Yo, yeah, that's right, because you were over here for that one. Oh my gosh.
He was here for that, man. It was you were just like, I don't understand. They have their fists. Use your fists.
This is before I stopped leaving the house and only using the same links that Habib uses.
I mean, listen, Uncle Dana's coming for you. I'm just letting you know that.
When he calling your ass out in one of them press conferences for stealing his pay-per-view, I want to hear shit.
Yeah, 2022, Uncle Dana's coming for you.
I got a VPN. He can suck my big toe.
Uncle Dana's going to have a blocker to your VPN, and he's coming for you. So you just remember that.
Yeah, because pay-per-view hackers are the UFC's biggest financial problem right now. Anyway.
All right. Now that we've got that, I guess, DJ, my closing question would be for you is we obviously know you're not coming back because life in Thailand is amazing. And why would you come back to the state of Maryland who can't figure out what the weather is going to be like from day to day? But with that being said, what was the biggest adjustment culture-wise initially?
Just the actual respect that everybody has for the day-to-day person. You know, like in America, we're real high and by, walking by people. You know, we don't really pay attention. But in Thailand, they really face you and Swati come and that's how they. If you don't do that, you're kind of like that's been one of the biggest adjustments. Like going from kind of the PG County attitude where you walking, you're on your line,
Oh, see,
and you're
No, I
afraid
got
of
that.
oh, see.
but here is much more respect to the day-to-day person. So it's super good in that regard. But yeah, the biggest thing that's going to keep me here has been like just that same thing, just the more respect you get here. Like when I get pulled over by the cops here, it's like I feel respected. Like I feel like I don't feel like I'm in danger. So it's
Wow.
yeah. I
Which
definitely
that's
enjoy
crazy
that.
to hear a black man across the world in Asia saying that when he gets pulled over by the police, he's not scared.
Yeah. No
It's
danger
amazing.
at all. Like no hands. No,
It's heartbreaking
never
to
been
hear.
had a hand on the gun. Never any of that.
Mm.
It's always yeah. So in America, yeah.
Can you? I mean, since we touched on it, can you just talk about lightly about how the interactions differ between like a Thai and American cop, just like coaches, like
Yeah. So man, Thailand's a really good country because you can kind of pay your way out of anything. So even if you kind of did something wrong, you ask them like, "Oh, I pay you special price," or like, because you can't, bribes are illegal, but you can also bribe your way out of anything. So it depends on, most of the cops take them. Some of the cops don't, but then you have to do it fast before there's not a lot of cops there, because the more cops show up, the more chance you got of it just being, you not being able to do it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you just had to pay more cops.
Oh no,
It gets real expensive.
You can, but it gets real expensive when, no matter if you did something, just pay the first one. Just I paid, and then going about your way. I
don't think
paid.
there are a whole lot of M&T ATMs over there in Thailand either. So I got to imagine that the exchange rate would get tight quick.
Yeah.
Ooh. How, like, what do we look like to, like, do you get a sense of what we look like to the Thai people? Like, is it talked about a lot, or?
No, it's not really talked about, but it's like it's not quite like we're brought in like right now. I feel kind of like family, It's like it's a weird culture. They just kind of, sometimes they just kind of bring you in, but then also, even if you want to stay on the outside, it's kind of hard to stay on the outside of the Thai culture, because you're gonna be around, especially with training, you're gonna be around too many people. But like they have a good amount of respect for us, but it's not like they look up to us, but it's definitely yeah.
I mean, that's all I got. Those are all of my questions for DJ.
Well, I'm gonna add a couple more since you forgot the questions that you wrote down, sir, because I want answers
Well,
to
I mean, you already touched on it. I mean, Jose said something about it already.
No.
You got,
But here's the thing, because Jose said it earlier, and he said it in passing, and for our viewers who are from the DMV, they know what mambo sauce is. For those that are not, well, you don't. And if you have it in your state, it's probably trash because it's not from here.
Yeah, you gotta get mambo sauce.
Right.
You gotta get it from the carryout, not the stuff.
Gotta be from the carryout, not because now they're selling it in the grocery stores, and I'm like,
that's
no.
Disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Very disrespectful.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
The carryout still got the good stuff. I don't know what that stuff is made out of. It's like death and MSG, but it is delicious.
They might be sprinkling some literal like meth or crack in it. Who knows? It's delicious.
They have to, because the ties you have to it is too strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you really want to know the answer?
No. You shut your mouth. My question for DJ is, like, obviously you've got the culture itself is different, but like, what aspects do you miss from home? Because I know Thai food is amazing, so I know you eating good, but like, are there things that
Yeah,
you're missing from home?
candy yams. Candy yams
Really?
and mac and cheese.
Really?
Those are my two jump offs. My mom is some of the is like world famous for her candy yams. Like
Oof.
yeah, that's what I miss the most. I almost to the point where I was like, "Ma, can you make it a next day air thing out here?" Like I don't know if it'll get here in time, but that's the thing I miss the most.
That's understandable.
Man.
But yeah,
Ooh.
the good thing is I can have my wife now FaceTime my mom and have my mom teach her how to make it.
Smart man.
But my mother now she's more healthy in her later part of life, so I have to tell her like go back like 5-10 years to where we used
You
to
want
be.
the original yams, not the
Yeah,
healthified ones.
no, yeah, not the ones with all these consignments for health. Like no, I don't. I work out. I'll be fine.
Stevia. Use the brown
Yeah.
sugar, Mom. Stevia. We're not doing that today.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Man,
All
that's
right.
a rough
Anybody
one.
else have any other questions?
Nah, DJ, just thank you so
Yeah,
much. I mean,
absolutely.
we gotta, because we know you're busy, but we gotta grab you when you have another opportunity to just, talk a
Yeah.
little bit about the MMA world in general, because I'm pretty sure you got some opinions, because there's some craziness going on right now.
I'm always down to talk. Yeah, but I just have to, as long as you guys are good with these times, because I'm fine
And
late at night or real early are the two times that I'm free. So
yeah, we will always be flexible for you. I mean,
I
obviously you've
appreciate
been
it.
supporting
Yeah,
us since
thank
day
you.
one. You're
Yeah,
our
so we
first
appreciate
guest.
it.
We're excited.
You guys
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
have gone up a lot. Like it's good to watch your podcast go up so much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was us talking to DJ Jackson from Fairtex, and we look forward to seeing his fighter stamp in her next fight. And you can catch us the next time. Thank you guys so much, bow throwers. Have a good one. Peace.
Bye,
See ya.
everybody.
See ya.